Welcome to the Blanco Wellness Podcast. Thank you for being here. Take a breath, settle in, and let's talk today about something that most people only begin to truly value after they have lost it enough times to understand what it is worth. At some point in most people's lives, the questions that feel most important shift. Earlier on, the primary questions tend to be about achievement and recognition and accumulation. How much, how successful, how impressive. Then, gradually and often without announcement, a different question begins to matter more. Not how much have I acquired, but what disturbs my peace. Not what have I accomplished, but what is it actually like to live inside my own mind on an ordinary day? Peace tends to reveal its value in inverse proportion to its presence. When it is consistently there, it is easy to overlook. Like clean air or reliable health, simply the background condition of a life functioning reasonably well. When it is consistently absent, when the background hum of the day is anxiety or conflict, or the particular exhaustion of a mind that cannot settle, the loss of it becomes the most significant fact about daily experience. Many people spend years chasing things they believe will make them happy, only to discover somewhere in the middle of the chase that what they most want is the thing they kept trading away in the process of chasing. The challenge is that peace is given away, most of the time, without quite noticing it is happening. Think about the things that genuinely disturb your peace on a regular basis. The relationships that generate ongoing stress. The habit of comparison that leaves you feeling insufficient after every encounter with someone else's life. The unresolved resentment carried forward from something that happened months or years ago. The need for approval from people whose opinion has somehow become a condition of your own sense of being okay. The worry about outcomes that cannot be influenced from inside the worry. Each of these things is a hole in the bucket. You can add whatever you like from the top. Meditation, exercise, rest, genuine effort at contentment. And if the holes remain, the bucket will never hold what it is being asked to hold. The Buddhist insight on this is one of the more practically useful in the entire tradition. Peace is not primarily something to be created and added. It is more often what remains when the unnecessary suffering is removed. Not creating peace, but ceasing to generate disturbance. The distinction sounds subtle, but it changes the approach entirely. Instead of asking what new practice or habit or resource might finally produce the peace being looked for, the more honest question is, what am I continuing to allow that consistently takes it away? The Taoists made a similar observation through the image of the river. Water does not spend energy flowing uphill. It does not argue with the landscape, does not insist that the terrain should arrange itself differently, does not exhaust itself in battles with what cannot be moved. It conserves its energy for actual movement, for the genuine work of getting from here to the ocean, and it directs that energy only toward what is actually available to be moved. Human beings often do something very different, spending significant portions of their available energy trying to win arguments that do not matter, trying to earn approval from people whose approval is structurally unavailable, trying to control what cannot be controlled, trying to change what will not change. The exhaustion this produces is not from the difficulty of life itself. It is from fighting battles that never needed to be fought. A monk was walking with a cup of tea when another student bumped into him and spilled it. The student apologized immediately. The monk smiled and kept walking. The student, surprised, asked why he was not upset. The monk replied, "The tea is already spilled. Why should I lose my peace too?" The story sounds almost too simple to be worth telling, until you examine how consistently people do the opposite, handing their peace to every small disturbance that presents itself, allowing a rude comment or a minor frustration or an inconvenience to take something genuinely valuable and replace it with agitation that serves no one. The event itself is often small. The decision to surrender peace in response to it is where the real cost lives. There is something worth naming for the people who resist this kind of boundary setting because they associate it with selfishness, who believe that caring about others means being infinitely available to whatever those others bring, that protecting their own inner life is somehow incompatible with genuine compassion. It is not. A candle that has been extinguished cannot light anything else. A person who has allowed their peace to be consistently drained has nothing left to offer from that depletion. Not patience, not genuine presence, not the quality of attention that makes care real. The protection of your own inner life is not a luxury or an indulgence. It is the maintenance of the resource that makes everything else possible. You can be genuinely kind while still deciding that not every conversation deserves your participation. Not every conflict deserves your energy. Not every invitation deserves your acceptance. Wisdom often lives in those decisions, in the ability to distinguish between what genuinely calls for your engagement and what is simply making noise in the direction of your attention. Think of your peace as a candle you are carrying through a world that contains considerable wind. Your job is not to eliminate all the wind that is not available to you. Your job is to protect the flame. Some days that means stepping back from a conversation before it takes something from you it cannot give back. Some days it means saying no to something that would have depleted you for days afterward. Some days it means forgiving, not for the other person's sake, but because carrying the resentment was costing you more than the original wound. Some days it means simply leaving the room, closing the screen, walking outside, breathing. The form changes depending on what the wind currently looks like. The intention remains constant. Keep the flame alive. Peace is not passivity. It is not the absence of engagement with life, or the avoidance of genuine difficulty, or the performance of being unaffected by what is actually affecting you. It is something more like a quality of ground beneath the experiences, the capacity to remain connected to yourself through what the day brings, to meet difficulty without being entirely consumed by it, to return to some baseline of steadiness even after something genuinely hard has arrived. That ground can be cultivated. It can also be eroded, gradually and consistently, by everything you continue to give access to it that takes more than it returns. As we close today, carry one honest question with you. What is currently taking your peace on a regular basis? Not occasionally, regularly. A relationship, a habit of thought, a situation you keep re-entering, a standard you keep applying to yourself that produces only exhaustion. And what would actually change in the quality of your daily experience if you stopped giving it quite so much power? Your peace is worth protecting. It may be the most valuable thing you have. Thank you for being here with me today. Until next time, be well.